What's going on, guys? Welcome to the channel today. Today's subject is a question I used to get quite a bit when I got into the hot shot industry, and it was basically just asking me questions about the company, like, and how you get started doing that stuff. And it's not too bad difficult, but the first thing you got to do really is decide what you want your company to be. And I'm not talking about like I want it to be a bakery, or like security or some other shit like that. It's really you got to decide what you want it to be, as in a sorry, I'm trying to go to Walmart. But you got to decide if you want it to be a sole proprietorship, a partnership, or a LLC, or a corporation, a full corporation. And each one has some advantages and disadvantages to it. For example, the sole proprietorship is going to be your easiest to set up. And basically what you do is you just start fucking doing your thing. If you're selling lemonade on the side of the road for a nickel a cup, you just fucking start doing it. And the main problem, or the main thing with your sole proprietorship, is you and the business are one. You're joined together. Or the business is you and you are the business. And what I mean by that is you use your social security number for everything, basically. Anything that would identify the business, you got to use it to identify, you use it to identify the business. Whereas, like a corporation or S Corp or LLC, it's going to have its own employer ID number. Which, doing that gives you a total 100% control of what happens, but at the same time, you're totally 100% liable for everything the business does. And the business taxes are your taxes, and this, that, and the other. When it comes to like a partnership, it's very similar to a sole proprietorship, except there's at least one other person involved. 50-50 or 33.333%, 25%, however many people there are, as a partnership. I really probably wouldn't recommend that for the long term, just because eventually you and your partner are going to have disagreements about how stuff needs to be ran. And we've seen with like empires and stuff in history, when you have a bunch of different people with the same level of authority, trying to dictate what needs to be done, it'll end up tearing your company apart. So eventually, you need to, if you start a business with a partnership, you need to either have the goal in mind to sell your part out to them, or buy their part out and go one of the other routes. Now, when you start talking about LLC, it stands for Limited Liability Corporation, and you'll see a lot of those. I see a lot of it in the transportation industry, and even in the security business, you see a lot of LLCs. And there's nothing wrong with a LLC. But the problem I had with the LLC is the whole limited liability, which means the company will only absorb a little bit of the liability if something happens. Like, say, you're in the transportation business, and you're not maintaining your trucks like you're supposed to. If one of them runs a red light or something and T-bones the fucking bus that just loaded up full of kindergartners, field trip, and investigations deem that you didn't service your brakes like you're supposed to. Well, the business is going to absorb some of that, but the suing entities, the parents, whatever, they're still going to be after you too. So you're stuff is on the line. You just keep that in mind. And there's also some tax, you know, a little bit of a tax benefit with that, you know, versus a sole proprietorship or partnership. Now, to me, the LLC is kind of like you're sitting on the fence. You know, you don't have a sole proprietorship, but you don't have a full incorporation. So, you know, to me, you either do it or don't do it. Me, I went with a full incorporation. McKinney Farms is also a full incorporation, and the reason I went with a full incorporation is because no matter what happens, like let's say, you know, some terrible stuff happens to me, like, you know, you get a divorce, for example, and your ex-wife tries to take all your shit. Well, she can take all your shit, but she can't take all the company's shit, because you're now separated. You know, the company is its own being, and you are your own being. Also, if the company flops and, you know, loses everything, then you don't lose all of your stuff in the process. So it gives you that veil of protection. Also, once you go with a corporation, corporations can be publicly traded on the stock market. So if you have this really super cool idea for a company that you need investors to help you fund your business, you can go with a corporation and publicly trade your, you know, parts of your business on the stock market, you know, i.e. shares of stock. But with that being said, if you screw around and give up 50% of your stock, they can force you into a partnership, or even, you know, if they can buy 51% of the shares, they can take your company from you. So there's some pluses and minuses to each one. But yeah, so if you guys have any questions on any aspects of starting a business or getting your incorporations and stuff done, just reach out to me. I got a link to my Clarity on the bottom here. Book some time. Hit me up on Facebook, and smash that like button and subscribe.